Testing. Are we live? We should be live. What's going on, guys? I'm hearing an echo. Hopefully y'all don't hear that. Let me know if there's an echo. Anything ruining the show. I have the Mixed Match Challenge in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud. Man. I should really fix this. Did that work? Hello? I think that worked. Okay. Man, what a sleeper show tonight. A lot of tonight had no real meaning. It really was just a filler show, you know. I don't know what to say too much about it. I barely took any notes tonight, so you guys might have to remind me if I missed out on anything. But like I said, tonight was really just not a must-see in my opinion. Like, you could have not seen what went down. You wouldn't have missed it. You wouldn't have missed anything really. I gotta take this headphones off. I'm hearing an echo and it might be messing me up. Hopefully everything's working out fine though on the show. Again, let me know if anything's going wrong, guys. Let me pull all these notes aside. Bobby Roode. Who was his partner? Becky Lynch. Yeah. So that was interesting. Earlier tonight, we found out that Charlotte Flair was all of a sudden injured or something. They had posted on Instagram, you know, vote for Bobby Roode's next partner. There was talks about what was her injury. They didn't state it at all until SmackDown Live tonight. I think they tweeted out too recently that Charlotte had a gum infection. I think it was some gum infection. In my opinion, I think it's just a cover-up to pull them, Asuka and Charlotte, apart, because I think if Charlotte was in this match right here, right now, they would have had Charlotte and Bobby Roode go over, and that would have led to Asuka and The Miz versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte, and, you know, that's Charlotte and Asuka in the same ring right before WrestleMania, so I don't think they wanted to do that. So I think this is sort of their way of backing out of that situation. Sounds a little odd, you know, I mean, a gum infection. I mean, it could be true. It could have really happened. But just my opinion on them going about that. A last-minute change, I think. All right, well, let's get into SmackDown. What we saw tonight. What was interesting, man? There was very few interesting things, or things that really got me intrigued in the show tonight. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. The heck is Becky doing? She's dancing over there, doing something funny. The two of the four horsewomen. Anyways, SmackDown Live tonight, we saw Randy Orton and Bobby Roode kick off the show. They were set for tag team action, like we found out last week, that they would be competing against Jinder Mahal and one of the Singh brothers. I forgot his name. I think it was Sunil, right? Sunil Singh. They were going to compete in a tag team match. But Sunil came out and was playing an injury that he had from last week when Bobby Roode and Randy Orton took him out. He was selling an injury which ended up being fake. But he was, selling an injury with a neck brace. He came out there with a neck brace and a sling around his right arm. And Jinder Mahal said that you're not going to be able to see what the tiger would have done. But instead of a tiger, I think he said something like, I got a lion. And he pointed to, behind him, and out came Rusev. Huge pop for him, man. The guy's over still with that Happy Rusev Day. And big news for Rusev. I think that was probably the most intriguing thing out of the whole thing tonight. We found out a couple answers answered, I guess you would say, for WrestleMania. Some questions that had been unanswered. We found some things out tonight. For instance, we found out what was going to go down with Rusev because, well, let me talk about the match first. So the match between Bobby Roode and Randy Orton teaming up together against Jinder Mahal and Rusev. You know how this goes. WWE, it's the same thing they do. When there's a tag team of two teammates that are going to go against each other come in the future, like at a pay-per-view or a certain event, typical WWE booking, they're not going to get along. And that's exactly what we saw tonight, as Bobby Roode and Randy Orton couldn't get along. it was a pretty quick match. Not exactly the most exciting, but like it was all just to build up towards their match at WrestleMania. Kind of same storyline, man, that we've been seeing on for the past few weeks. It always ends in some RKO or the glorious DDT. They've been going back and forth. It's almost like WWE's like, oh, you know, we got so many weeks towards Mania. Why can't we just get there? You know, they're just a bunch of filler that's being put into effect right now. I really just want to see WrestleMania already. Me too, as well, because I mean, how much more build can we see? You know, it seems like everything's being pushed and pushed and pushed further and further, and it's kind of very slow. And you don't actually need that many weeks of booking for the way they're booking right now. We're seeing, like I said yesterday on the Monday Night Raw review, we're seeing just a lot of promos. Too many promos, in my opinion. Not a lot of action going on to build up their storylines. But where was I at? I was talking about Roode and Orton, their tag team match, right? They ended up having like an issue, just like you would predict with these situations. Randy Orton would lay out Bobby Roode in the middle of the match with an RKO, and this would lead to Rusev getting a victory over Orton. I think he rolled him up right after that RKO, and good news for Rusev, because we found out after this in a backstage segment, which I think happened after this, or maybe it was something else, it was Rusev. He's going to be booked into the Fatal 4-Way match. He's going to be booked into the United States Championship match, matter of fact, at WrestleMania. And that's good for Rusev, because it was this, in my opinion, or the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. And with the amount of crowd reaction he's had lately, it's only right that he gets put into this match. I think it's a good spot for him, at least mid-card. Who knows? We could have a WrestleMania moment, man, of Rusev winning. This is one of the feuds I was least excited about for Mania, but now that Rusev is in it, it's more interesting. Yeah, he was perfect for it, man. I actually, like, when I saw Rusev and Jinder Mahal come out together, they kind of did look like a legitimate threat, and they looked like a pretty damn good tag team, but just by the way they were walking to the ring together. But Rusev in this match makes it a lot more interesting. I could actually see a WrestleMania moment. He's kind of like the wild card. Rusev could pull out a victory at WrestleMania. How cool would that be? You know, the crowd would pop for that, definitely, with the whole Rusev Day thing going on. I kind of would like to see Rusev get the win over there. That would be nice. But besides that, yeah, he had a segment backstage with Jinder Mahal, where I think Jinder Mahal was saying, "I would like for you to be my partner at WrestleMania. I would like you to witness me defend the title." And Rusev responded with, "I got something even better in mind. I want to be a part of the match." So they announced it, man. Fatal 4-Way, United States Championship, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, and Jinder Mahal. Rusev Day is so over that the crowd would go wild. Dude, hell yeah, man. That'd be a WrestleMania moment right there, and well-deserved, I think. Because the past few weeks, you know, Rusev's just been doing the job for a bunch of people. But now he's got his own spot. And mid-card title, that's not bad. That's a good spot for Rusev, I think. Okay, and then we had, what else go down? We had a backstage segment with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Another backstage segment. This feud, I'm still excited for the match, obviously. I know these two are going to kill it in the ring, like I've said over and over and over again. But the build-up towards it isn't exactly the most exciting. It was funny at the end of SmackDown. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I don't have no idea what the hell Shinsuke was saying at some times, but it had me laughing a little bit. But like these backstage segments and whatnot, we've seen them every single week, I think, on SmackDown, where there's kind of this like awkward encounter between Shinsuke and AJ Styles. You're not exactly sure what I don't know. It's like there's no storyline around this feud. You know, obviously, you know, just Shinsuke got an opportunity. They've kind of gone into the idea that these two have fought in Japan. They fought all over the world or something like that. So they've referenced their history. But besides that, there's not exactly a real good storyline. Tonight we saw Shinsuke playing mind games, I guess you'd say. Not sure if it was mind games or just that language barrier that kind of makes it seem like it's mind games. But we'll get into what happened down in the last segment in a little bit. But after that, I think that's when we had the female match. I believe, yeah, this is where Becky Lynch would get a win over Ruby Riott. The match was pretty decent. Ruby Riott, in my opinion, is pretty underrated. She was good in NXT. Becky Lynch is obviously really good. I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch. I've stated in the past that I think she deserves better, but I guess, you know, with Charlotte and Asuka already on the top, there's no spot for her being there yet. So it's, I mean, this is literally zero story here, but the WWE shows that the match will make up for it, and I'm fine with it. Yeah, me too, man. I'm fine with it too. It's not that I would rather them not talk and just have the match happen already, but, you know, I just know that the match is going to be a lot better, and I think everybody does know that. It's still a dream match. The storyline might not be the best. That might affect the outcome, I think. You know, it's not going to be in the future judged as the greatest WrestleMania feud, and it can't go down in history as the greatest WrestleMania. I guess you can almost say match, in ring match it might, but as like a whole, like general whole feud or the whole thing in general, it's already not going to be as Becky Lynch just won. It's already not going to be like the greatest feud because there's not that build up, there's not that story, you know, such as like this is a bad example because I'm going to bring up Chris Benoit, but you know, with the whole Chris Benoit and Triple H and Shawn Michaels back at WrestleMania 20, there was that story to back it up where Chris Benoit was the underdog and Shawn Michaels and Triple H had this feud, but they weren't so focused on Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit had that moment. Then you had Eddie and Chris Benoit at the end of the show at that emotional moment that we don't get to see nowadays, sadly, due to what Chris Benoit did. But my point is that, like, it can be a great match. It can be the greatest match ever, but it's not going to go down in history as, like, I don't think, in my opinion, as, like, you know, the best feud because the build-up isn't that great. But, I don't know. Maybe after WrestleMania, you know, this feud continues. They could definitely have whoever loses a rematch clause or something, depending on if none of them get, like, if AJ Styles doesn't get drafted or switched to Raw, if he loses, or if Shinsuke goes to Raw, I don't know. But back on topic, Becky Lynch, as her music's playing right now because she just won. She gets 2 wins tonight because she won against Ruby Riott, and she just won right now in the Mixed Match Challenge. So I guess what is that? They're showing the bracket right now. The Miz versus Asuka and Roode and Flair. So wait, Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair are still going to go to the finals? And Becky Lynch is just kind of a filler or what? What Kurt Angle's coming out right now. This has become like a complete reaction video to the Mixed Match Challenge. I'll get back onto this. Let me just see what Kurt's going to say. I don't know if you guys can hear this, or if you guys are watching this. What is Kurt Angle doing on SmackDown?
WWE Universe picks Becky Lynch as her replacement, her temporary replacement. Now the finals are next week, and what that consists of is Monday Night Raw. It's going to be The Miz and Asuka versus from SmackDown, Bobby Roode.
So this is taking place on Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch is like, what? So I'm not involved? Okay, so I guess that's what it. Sorry about that, but that's what's going down over there. Mixed Match Challenge is taking the finals is going to take place on Monday Night Raw the week before Mania. If I heard that right, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So yeah, wait, they just said Bobby Roode and Charlotte, right, versus the Miz and Asuka. Okay, so then Asuka and Charlotte are gonna have a match before Mania. Well, sort of. They're gonna be in the ring. I thought that whole injury angle thing was going to be like, oh, they're going to keep Charlotte away from Asuka in that way, but never mind. I was wrong. Anyways, let's go ahead and turn that down. So back on the SmackDown Live review, yeah, we saw Becky Lynch get the win over Riott in a pretty meaningless match. It was just so that they can advertise their Women's Battle Royale for WrestleMania. You know, I just can't be excited for this because I feel like it's the same fate as the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. What they need to add a stipulation, man. Like they need to add a reason for these competitors to want to win or the audience to want to cheer them on, you know, because there's nothing they get out of this. Have a title match, have something, do something like the Money in the Bank. Maybe not something as, you know, where they can just cash in at any time, but you know, maybe they get like a championship match in the future that they can decide, not at any moment, but I don't know, something. Because as of right now, no one's gonna exactly look forward to the Battle Royale so much, because what do you get out of it? You get a trophy, and then you hold it for the next few weeks, or on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live, and then that's it. Eventually, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they drop the whole trophy thing, and it's just back to normal, and there's no meaning to it. Here's another image. I put this up here because they added Bayley now up there. So I'm not sure if it's confirmed that Bayley and Sasha are just going to have their sort of feud thing go into the Battle Royale. I think that's the case. With 1 week only, one more Monday Night Raw heading into Mania, I wouldn't imagine that they're going to change it up that soon. I could be wrong again. I don't know. But as of the graphic, they still have Bayley, or they added Bayley on there, actually, because last night on Raw, they didn't have her on there. I thought that was something intriguing for anyone. We had Daniel Bryan come out, and you know, the big news was last week that Daniel Bryan's back in in-ring action. They sort of recapped tonight what went down, how he got attacked by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. You know, a huge news in this week was that Shane McMahon had been diagnosed with diverticulitis. He had a hernia, and he was in pain. You know, he went to, I think it was a trip to the Caribbean, and with his family, and then that's when he figured out he had that. Yeah, this is the easiest way to lump all of the women in one match, but ultimately it leads to nothing. Kind of unfortunate. Yeah, it is unfortunate, man. That's the way it is with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale as well. They just kind of stuff everybody. You know, they want everyone on the card, which is, I understand. It's great that their talent gets to have somewhat of a WrestleMania moment. You know, to be on the card, it means a lot more than to just not be on the card. Because that sucks, you know, just to not be, to be a part of the company and you have to sit in catering or whatnot and not be in a match at WrestleMania. That sucks. But yeah, it just needs meaning. That's it. It's not a bad idea. You know, these are all great talent that's on the roster. They just don't have that push, or they don't have, you know, they're not placed great on the card, but they can, you know, if it was like the Money in the Bank back when they had it at WrestleMania, man, that was interesting. I looked forward to that. It just needs a stipulation. It needs something for them to want to win the match. But yeah, Daniel Bryan came out. He was talking about last week. He said, you know what, this is the land of opportunity. The fans were giving him much love, man. They were chanting, "You deserve it, Daniel Bryan." In my opinion, the most over superstar in the company, and he still was even as a GM. But he was talking about this is the land of opportunity. So I'm gonna give Sami and Owens another chance. He said he would give him one more chance, and he said Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will go to WrestleMania and they'll compete in a tag team match against Shane McMahon and me, Daniel Bryan. So the rumors are true. Daniel Bryan will compete at WrestleMania, and he will tag team up with Shane McMahon. But that was the kind of interesting right there, because like I said earlier, the whole story, there's been a lot of rumors and speculation that Shane McMahon was battling this diverticulitis and whatnot, and you know, the first thing when you think of diverticulitis for any like wrestling fan, I think, was thinking about Brock Lesnar and how serious that condition was. I think his condition was more serious because with Brock Lesnar, he dealt with the diverticulitis, but he just fought it, and he didn't get medical conditioning on it right away. So it built up in his system and just got worse and worse. I think Shane caught it on time, so where he was able to handle it, and that's just my idea of what happened, because with Daniel Bryan announcing that Shane McMahon has a match with him and Sami Zayn versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. That's kind of odd, you know. That must mean they know something backstage. Shane's fine. He probably got cured. Um, I don't know, or they're gonna, just say that for now, and then if Shane does end up being in a condition where he can't return in time for WrestleMania, then they'll just replace him with somebody. I don't know who, but it looks like Shane's fine. If they were, I wouldn't think they would have announced that match. They wouldn't have even involved Shane McMahon if he wasn't able to compete, or announced him in the match. So that was interesting. One of the most intriguing things of the night as well, besides the whole Rusev angle going down. What else did we have go down? Let's see. It was a very short night. SmackDown sometimes being a 2-hour show seems really short, but then sometimes Monday Night Raw feels really long. It's like 3 hours, so it's kind of hard to find the balance. Some people complain that Raw is too long. Some people complain that SmackDown's too short. Tonight, SmackDown seemed really short, but then when there's bookings like this tonight, do you really want to see another hour of SmackDown Live if it's just going to be like this? Because in my opinion, tonight, it wasn't one of the best. Like I say, I don't like to try to be picky about stuff, but tonight wasn't, in my honest opinion, the best SmackDown. It wasn't very entertaining. It seems like just a filler towards Mania. As Mania is approaching, it seems like WWE is like, let's just get there already. Here's a couple of matches we put together in the span of 5 minutes. Here you go. We saw the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. That was an announcement that came out. We saw the Usos cause a DQ as they interrupted the match and took out the blood. Well, they tried to take out the Bludgeon. They started attacking the Bludgeon Brothers as Rowan was going for that mallet that the Bludgeon Brothers hold. They started attacking them. Then they started pushing the New Day. And this kind of led to what a lot of fans were predicting to be a triple threat. They had built this up for the past few weeks. Triple threat match at WrestleMania. But they announced it. I don't even think they announced it on SmackDown. I saw this on Twitter. They had brought the image up of... I didn't put it up on here. But they had the image of the triple threat match. The WrestleMania graphic. It said the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day. So they announced it on Twitter. Maybe... it's going to be a pre-show thing if they can't even announce it on SmackDown. I hope not, because the Usos deserve better, as they've been great on the mic. They've been great in the ring. And they've been, they've kind of been disrespected in the past few WrestleManias by being put on the pre-show already a couple of times, and one time being knocked off the whole show in general. So at least put them on the card, the main card. Even if it's the start of the show, we've seen the New Day and the Usos have classic matches. Who's to say they can't have another classic match with the Bludgeon Brothers involved? Maybe the Bludgeon Brothers add a new feel to the match. But yeah, that got announced right after, as the Usos got involved with that match and ended in a DQ. Everything was really short tonight. Things were going by pretty quick, like I said. Then we had this really pointless match. I'm not sure, again, all I can think of is this is to build towards... I don't even know if saying build towards is the right words, but... they had Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze, with Fandango being very weird on the apron, doing his dance moves on the side in attempt to distract Dolph Ziggler, I guess you'd say, or just be weird as hell. But like I said, this was, I think, just another pointless match. But I don't know what to say. Was it a build or what? But it's just heading towards the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, because during the match, they announced that Dolph and Tyler and Fandango are officially in the Battle Royale. That's all it is. Dolph, it didn't take long for Dolph to get the win. He got the win, stared at the trophy, super kicked Fandango on the apron, or not on the apron, but the side of the ring. Just kind of stared at the trophy. Probably in his head thinking where he's at in his career right now after his 10 plus years lifespan in the WWE. I don't know, man. Dolph's one of those controversial topics, of does he deserve to be more? Does he deserve better? What is it with Dolph? Does he have backstage heat with people or what? Yeah, the Dolph situation is so weird. I thought he was going to do something after walking out, but it's not looking like any sort of push for him. It really is, man. And then there was that whole talk about I don't know if it was ever true. I didn't look too much into it, but I think they were saying like Dolph was confirmed to have $1 million contract, or maybe it was something else. But it was like a very high price contract. The talk was like, is Dolph just gonna go to the independent scene, and is he gonna get a better reaction over there? Is he tired with WWE? And then the news came out that he signed that deal. So something kept him in WWE. Then it seemed like, oh, he's gonna get this huge push because he walked out holding the United States Championship. He walked out, left it in the ring. They had that whole tournament. Orton picked up the title, and then we saw Dolph come back at Royal Rumble just to get eliminated. So I don't know what the point of that was. And then he was part of that Fatal 5-Way match. He didn't do much there. And now he's where he's at. So when you look at Dolph's career in the last couple of weeks, couple of months, it sucks. You know, he goes from United States Championship to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale with no title at all. Yeah, I read about that too. Vince paid him a hefty amount to have him stay because they wanted to push him. But now he's really not doing much. He really isn't, man. I don't know what WWE's mindset is on him. I don't even know what Dolph's mindset is going into all this. I don't remember what the deal was. I can try to look it up, but it'll probably take me too long. But I don't know. I wonder how long he signed with them, because now he's stuck in a hole. I'm pretty sure he can't go anywhere. It doesn't look good for his career. I don't think a lot of the fans even take him serious anymore. I in my honest opinion, I don't even think the entrance music he comes out with, if you can call it that, because it doesn't. There's not even entrance music. It comes out all dead silence, and then his song starts. I've never been a big fan of that. Once they started that, it doesn't give him a big reaction or anything. I think the fans just really don't. They kind of gave up on him. You know, there was a point in time where a lot of fans were like, "Man, Dolph deserves better." They would cheer Dolph. Remember that moment we saw where Dolph got the win at Survivor Series against who was it? Seth Rollins, where Sting returned and he was the sole survivor. He eliminated like Kane and somebody else, I think. It's so weird with Dolph. It is very confusing, his whole situation, because it's up and down with, you know, he somewhat gets a push, and then next thing you know, he's on the bottom of the card. So that it really is just confusing to understand. And I don't know if he's happy with where he's at, if he's happy being just I don't want to say like jobber or anything, but you know, if he's happy with just being on below mid card or mid card, because he's been there a long time. He's a hell of a seller, one of the best sellers in the ring, in the WWE, probably the best. The man can sell, but he's pretty decent on the mic too. His feud against The Miz was also one of his best moments. We had the title. Yeah, that's right. That was another huge moment. That was when SmackDown was actually really good, in my opinion. Back when we had Bliss and Becky Lynch, and we had this whole situation with The Miz and Dolph. That really got him over with the fans more again. He put his career on the line. I thought that was it for Dolph at the time. That was what made that so interesting, is you didn't know if Dolph was actually going to win or lose. I think everyone kind of almost thought he was out the door in that situation, because again, he was in the same spot that we are now, where you're just like, man, Dolph has nothing. So if he was to lose this match against The Miz, it would put The Miz even over more as a heel, and Dolph would be on his way out. But then you had Dolph win, which was great. And they kind of went back and forth with the title, and I think The Miz just went to Raw shortly after. So but it was a great feud, man. I remember that moment. That, like I said, that was when SmackDown was really good, in my opinion. It had me watching every week. It had me watching SmackDown more than Raw. I'm not sure how true it is, but I remember hearing at one point that when they had the superstar shakeup, they didn't just shake up the superstars on TV, but they actually shook up some of the writers of SmackDown Live back then to Raw. I'm not sure how true that is, but it kind of seems like it's pretty true, because ever since then it's flip-flop. Raw's more better now, I think. Sometimes it's still kind of not the best, but it's a lot more interesting than SmackDown sometimes, or majority of the time. You know, the A show, Monday Night Raw, they always get the better of it. SmackDown even lost at Survivor Series. So SmackDown's always the B show. It always will be. You know, Vince's baby is Monday Night Raw, so it just always seems like these two can't be at the same level. You know, like it can't be Raw versus SmackDown in legitimate competition. I don't know why they can't do that. I really would like to see Raw versus SmackDown kind of compete in like the ratings. Maybe they could show that every week. Make it seem like it's WCW versus WWE. I know you can't go that far, but at least make it, what is the word they use? Brand supremacy. They could do that. But yeah, SmackDown, man, and Dolph Ziggler. The whole situation, this whole thing started with Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler, man, he's in a bad predicament again, and I don't know what happens to him post WrestleMania. I don't know how long he's gonna stay with the WWE. It seems like he's in a hole, like I said. Yeah, I think the Superstar Shake-Up really messed up SmackDown before. It was so good, and I was so invested. Yeah, it really was. What else went down? We had the tag team champions. Oh, yeah, okay, this is the graphics. Yeah, I meant to put that earlier, but yeah, that was the graphic that they uploaded on Twitter to make it official. They made that official. Let me move this over here because I kind of got the text on the screen. It's a little too big. It's a little better. All right. So yeah, they announced that on Twitter. What else do we have go down tonight? We had okay, this is the main event already. Yeah, see guys, this is a short show. Not a lot of exciting things, like I said. Shinsuke versus Shawn Benjamin. In a way, I was kind of not like excited for this. It's obvious Shinsuke's gonna win. He's not gonna lose heading into the title match for against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, the whole dream match. But seeing Shelton and Shinsuke, that's something you don't usually would see in the WWE. So that was kind of cool to see them. They were great in the ring. They didn't get that much time, but two great competitors. Kind of cool seeing them compete against each other, but not really meaning so. I guess would you say it wasn't very meaning? It was kind of meaningless. It was just for Shinsuke to get a win over him. Shawn Benjamin was just thrown in there as an enhancer, I guess you'd say, to make Shinsuke look good. With AJ Styles on the side of the apron, watching on. AJ Styles wasn't in competition again. He wasn't in any action, I guess. I mean, he did get attacked, but he wasn't like in a match or anything. So I'm sure that still has people talking about his injury. As I think Triple H came out earlier in the week and stated, like, he was dealing with an injury, but it was, I don't know how serious it was. He didn't mention how serious it was. He just kind of said that Styles was recovering and he was looking to be 100% come WrestleMania. But it doesn't seem that serious. They're still, like I said, they're booking it well. Just a week, man. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We got a week away. Hopefully Styles and Shinsuke stay healthy, and we'll get that dream match that everyone's been wanting to see. We got Shinsuke, who won the match pretty easily. I think it was a Kinshasa for the win. AJ Styles was cheering him on, and then they had like an after segment where they cut a promo. Shinsuke called AJ Styles in the ring, and he told him, AJ, I did not need you. I can't do a Shinsuke impression, but he did. Eventually, he told him he didn't need him there. He just had him there ringside so he could see what he was gonna do to him at WrestleMania. And AJ Styles responded with, "You were just using me," or something like that. And Shinsuke, what did he say? I'm trying to, man, this just happened like 30 minutes. I'm so bad with remembering stuff, but it basically broke down into Chad Gable and Shawn Benjamin getting back in the ring and started attacking AJ, and then Shinsuke had to save AJ. I do remember there was a funny moment with Shinsuke. What the hell did he say, man? It just threw me off. I was like, what the hell? He said something like, "You, AJ, are," and I was like, what? Like, what does that even mean? He was like, "You're so emotional," or something. Again, that's the mic work for these two. It's not exactly the greatest. Just shut up and let's see the match, in my opinion, man. That's what I want to see. But obviously, there's still a week left, so we got to deal with one more week of this. We're probably going to be another SmackDown Live next week, where we'll see another backstage segment between the two and another in-ring promo between the two. And then we can finally see the match we've been waiting for. But again, just in my opinion, very like kind of odd ending. The promo work for Shinsuke. He's got that language barrier, so it's kind of, I don't know, kind of throws me off sometimes. It's pretty funny. The fans are somewhat interested. They were laughing a little bit, some people in the crowd. I'm pretty sure some people were confused. They don't understand what Shinsuke's saying. But yeah, Shad Gable and Shelton, they got involved at one point. Shinsuke saved AJ, and then it looked like Shinsuke was gonna go for the Kinshasa on AJ Styles, but right when he ran up to him, he stopped and kind of just hinted that he's playing mind games. So that's the storyline really, is that Shinsuke's playing mind games with AJ Styles, and that's kind of the whole build up right there. Is AJ Styles is being played some way by Shinsuke. Like I said, there's SmackDown Live wasn't exactly the greatest tonight. It wasn't, in my opinion, the greatest. Could have been a lot better, but WWE, like I said, it's just filler, man. There's not a lot they've been giving us. A couple of things answered tonight. What do we find out? Rusev is gonna be a part of the match, which, like we said, makes me more excited. Hell, put Rusev in it. It's a better spot than the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. You can. What else did we find out? We found out. Shane might, now that match is official, but is Shane gonna be 100%? That's still kind of an unanswered question. What else did we really find out, man? I mean, besides a couple of people being in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale and the female version of that. Besides that, that's really it, man. Unless I'm missing anything, but I think that was everything. Very short, man. Very short. When you think about it, there was 3 things maybe. Rusev with that whole United States Championship feud going on, and then you had the women, and then you had Daniel Bryan, and then you had the main event, right? Really, everything else was just like Andre the Giant or something, or a recap of Monday Night Raw, or a recap of something that doesn't have to do with SmackDown, like Ronda Rousey. I don't know. Not the most intriguing SmackDown or anything. It doesn't really take away from, I guess, WrestleMania too much. I'm just ready to see WrestleMania. What was it? When was the last time we had a pay-per-view? Was it Fastlane? Okay, so Fastlane wasn't that long ago, but it just feels like a long time. It just feels like a lot of weeks that we've been seeing. The tag team match was confirmed, even though it wasn't officially announced. Yeah, exactly. It was announced on Twitter, I think. So, in my opinion, that kind of hints towards possibly being on the pre-show or something, that they really don't give it that much attention to announce it on the actual show. That they'd rather have time for a Monday Night Raw promo or something instead of the tag team division that they lack so much in. But the reason for that, I think, is because they just don't give them enough attention. They don't give them much thought. Besides that, guys, I don't think there's much to say. I kind of knew tonight was going to be pretty short. I barely took notes, like I said, because there wasn't too much to take notes on. And, I didn't want to waste too much time and going into too deep into every match. Because, if you watch the show, then, I'm trying to make the show better for you. So I don't just want to recap everything that happened tonight. I know it's a review, but, I want to give my opinion more than just, go over specifically, everything that went down in the ring and stuff. Because if you watched it, you obviously know what happened. So, just trying to give more of my opinion. And there's not much to say. I mean, tonight isn't one of the greatest shows of SmackDown. I keep saying that, but I don't know what else to say. I guess that's it for me, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see more on the show. I'm still making some more touch-ups. Matter of fact, I was watching SmackDown Live on the computer today. I'm kind of setting up different things, trying to add more flavor to the show, because I've noticed that in the community of wrestling, it's not so big on the internet anymore, like on YouTube and stuff. So I'm trying to add in more stuff to get more people to watch. Maybe I can add in more something different than all the other shows you see on YouTube. Besides that, guys, I'm pretty much done here. They're showing 205 Live right now. I'll probably watch the recap. Maybe they've already kind of announced that the tournament is going to be Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. So there's not exactly too much exciting going on 205 Live. I'm sure the matches are great. I won't take the matches away from 205 Live. They usually perform great. But I just want to get to WrestleMania. I'm ready for WrestleMania, man. I want to review that already. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me. I will see you guys next time, which if you want to join me for Saturday, I got the shows on the side right here with the time. Of course, you can always join me for Raw reviews right after Monday Night Raw, Tuesdays for SmackDown reviews right after SmackDown, and then Saturdays I'm here for my show called Showstopper, where we'll talk news, rumors, and predictions, 9 p.m. Central. All right, guys. Appreciate the love. Gundam always in the chat, man. Love it. Anyone who joined in, anyone who's watching, anyone who's watching this on playback, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell if you need to, because I recently read that YouTube's not exactly, they're notifying like 50 to 60% of people now on their subscriptions. Unless you hit the bell, that's when you get every notification. Weird YouTube algorithm stuff, man. But that's it, guys. I'll see you guys next time on the World of Wrestling Show. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm your host, Jake Randy, and I'll see you guys later.